Before independence, Nigeria was a mosaic of powerful ethnic blocs governed under British colonial rule. At the stroke of a pen, the British drew 3 bold lines, carving the country into northern, western, and eastern regions. These weren't just geographical zones, they were the heartbeat of political power. But how did Nigeria morph from these 3 giant regions into the patchwork of 36 states we know today? In this video we uncover the buried history, hidden political motives, and calculated manipulations that drove this transformation. What was gained? What was sacrificed? And who truly benefited from this state-by-state breakdown of Nigeria's once unified structure? Colonial regions. The foundation of Nigeria's regional structure was built on colonial expedients. In 1946, the Richards Constitution officially divided the country into 3 major regions, the northern, western, and eastern regions. This wasn't a random division, it mirrored the dominance of 3 ethnic titans, the House of Fulani in the north, the Yoruba in the west, and the Igbo in the east. Each region wielded immense autonomy, strengthening ethnic identities and power bases. In 1963, following agitations by minority groups who felt marginalized, the Midwestern region was carved out of the Western region. This act was a significant shift, but in hindsight, it marked only the beginning of a deeper and more systematic political restructuring. The first big split, 1967. By the late 1960s, Nigeria was simmering with ethnic tension, political unrest, and competing secessionist ideologies. After 2 turbulent military coups and mounting conflict in the eastern region, Nigeria stood on the brink of disintegration. On May 27, 1967, just days before the eastern region declared the short-lived Republic of Biafra, head of state General Yakubu Gowon made a defining move. He abolished the 4 existing regions and created 12 new states. This was no ordinary restructuring. It was a strategic attempt to dismantle regional dominance, especially that of the East, and to fracture the unity of secessionist sentiments. Gowon's decision shifted the balance of power forever. Nigeria was no longer a land of megaregions. It became a federation of smaller units, each holding a piece of the national puzzle. Second redraw, 1976, 19 states. Following the Civil War, national unity became a top priority. In 1976, under the leadership of General Murtala Muhammad, Nigeria expanded from 12 to 19 states. The move aimed to promote inclusivity and reduce the lingering ethnic power blocks. Perhaps most notably, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Abuja was established to create a politically neutral center of power, away from the influence of any major ethnic group. This second wave of restructuring allowed the military to consolidate control, while presenting the narrative of balanced development. State creation had evolved. It was now both a symbol of equity and a tool of power. Ibibi's increment, 1987 and 1991. The era of General Ibrahim Babangida marked a turning point in Nigeria's political geography. In 1987, he created 2 new states. Akwa Ibom, from Cross River. Katsina, from Kaduna. Then in 1991, he increased the number of states again, carving out 9 more. With these additions, Nigeria's total rose to 30 states. Babangida's strategy was framed as bringing governance closer to the people, but it was equally about securing loyalty and redistributing political influence. For every new state came new opportunities, more federal funding, new governors, senators, local government areas, and appointments. Final push to 36 states, 1996. General Sani Abacha took the final step. On October 1, 1996, he announced the creation of 6 more states. These new additions brought the number to 36, completing the current structure. Abacha's state creation was seen by many as a calculated political move to appease ethnic minorities and tighten his grip on power. Each new state seemed to echo one central theme: satisfy unrest with representation, and dilute opposition with division. Why it happened? So why did this transformation happen? At the core was an effort to defuse ethnic tension and prevent the monopoly of power by the big 3 ethnic groups. Giving minority regions their own states helped calm agitations and broke the unity of secessionist threats. State creation also became a political bargaining chip. More states meant more leadership positions, more federal allocations, and more grassroots influence, all under the control of those in power. On the surface, it was about development. But beneath, It was a chess game of political survival. Effects and criticism. On the positive side, creating new states has allowed for more localized governance and a sense of representation for minority groups. However, this decentralization has also come at a high cost. Nigeria now maintains 36 governors, 36 state assemblies, and a bloated federal budget heavily dependent on oil revenue. Many of the newer states lack sustainable economies and are largely dependent on monthly allocations from the federal government. Instead of promoting national unity, critics argue that this fragmentation may have entrenched ethnic suspicion, reduced efficiency, and multiplied bureaucratic wastage. What began as a quest for inclusion, for some, became a source of corruption, inefficiency, and political manipulation. Current status and proposals. Despite having 36 states, calls for new ones keep coming. Over 50 state creation proposals have reached the National Assembly, including requests for Anioma State, Biafra State, Oil River State, and many more. However, under the current democratic system, creating new states is no longer a simple military decree. It requires constitutional amendments, approval from 2/3 of the National Assembly, and referendums in the affected areas. These hurdles have slowed the pace, but not the desire. State creation remains a powerful tool in Nigeria's political imagination. Conclusion. From a colonial 3 regions to a complex federation of 36 states, Nigeria's political cartography tells a story of ambition, control, and survival. Each state on the map is more than just a name. It's a story of people demanding a voice, leaders securing loyalty, and power being redistributed, sometimes for good, sometimes for gain. Has this fragmentation helped Nigeria reach its potential, or has it made it more fragile and harder to govern? That's the question that still echoes today. Drop your answer in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Truth in the Soil for more forgotten, censored, or untold African history. New revelations are on the way.